Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. It is Angela, the Traveling Crafter. I hope you're all doing well. If you are new to the channel, welcome. If you were returning, it's great to see you back. What are we going to do today? Well, first of all, I'm going to ask you a question. I must ask you a question. How many of you own in your stash those, I'm going to call them washi type stickers or PET stickers, some folks call them. They're these, most of all of these, but they're the type of stickers that come on plastic, like such as this one and this one right here, as well as these. Or they are like a washi type sticker, like the ones in this book, this Ephemera book, that when you peel them off, let's just find one that you guys can see fairly well. That when you, of course, this one's not going to do it for me. Really? That when you peel these off, is this a good example? Yes. You can see through them. So they're like washi tape, right? So they're great to use as ephemera. I do use them quite a bit. A lot of times I will back them like I did on these just to kind of ground them a little bit. And I use them just on a page or whatever. But today what I am going to show you is 3 techniques to turn these into jewelry, whether it be jewelry for your body, like a little dangly charm on a bracelet or a necklace or a pair of earrings. I mean, who wouldn't want Dolly Dingle hanging from her ears, right? Or if you want to make junk journal jewelry, which is what we're going to focus on right now. Before we get started, I want to show you or tell you what you might need and the different supplies I'm going to use to experiment with you and show you some of the ways that you can use different mediums to create something that's a little more robust, a little thicker, makes the image itself pop. And those we will start with, well, goodness, let's see. Let me get my chair up here. We are going to, let's see, what do I want to start with? First of all, your stickers. What I am going to do, and I think that works best, is if you want to take a pause, get your stickers out and just take a sheet of paper, just like I did, and fill it. Now, if I were doing one technique at a time for an entire page, I would do this for each technique. I am going to do 3 different techniques, so I'll probably cut these apart because you'll see in a moment we'll need to do that for a particular reason. But if you're doing one technique and you're doing all the same thing, by all means, do one sheet for each. It will save you a lot of time. In my experience, I don't know that that's the exact way. If you guys come up with something better, I would love to hear it because efficiency is always a bonus. So get your stickers onto a sheet of paper. Now this sheet of paper is cardstock. It's probably a medium weight cardstock. If you wanted to use something heavier to give it more strength, if you're using it in a journal or something, or earrings, do that. But this is just a regular pearl kind of piece of cardstock. I did do a couple of these that I had cut out in advance. They are not covered yet. I just backed them on a piece of paper. So we have those to work with as well. One of the techniques we will be doing is by embossing. So you'll need something, this is a Versamark watermark stamp, and you'll need some clear embossing powder. Okay? Easy enough. Now, I also have these embossing pens, and we're going to try those as well. The second thing that we are going to experiment with is just this is Mod Podge. Dimensional magic, but anything that you have that makes a dimensional that clears hard would work. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones I have and I can't remember. Anyway, but there are several. This is what I'm going to use today. I don't have a lot left, so we'll use as much as we can. The third that we are going to be using, now I have two different iterations of this. This is a high gloss epoxy. This is, like you can see in the picture, something, if you've ever been to like a restaurant or a bar where they have a bunch of pennies on the bar and then they've epoxied over it and it's nice and smooth, this is what they use. It's a mix, and you're using half and half mix of this. So we'll be using this a little bit later. I also have a UV resin, a UV resin as well. So this is resin that I just showed you, epoxy also called, and then the other one is just a UV resin. What that means is when you need to cure it, it will need to go into a UV lamp, which I have for my flanges upstairs, but I did not bring that down. We're only going to work with this one today. So let's start with the embossing technique. And so what I'm going to do, I also have under here, this is my homemade, this is just foam, and I use this for my stamps, but it's also helpful when I am using my heat gun, which you will also need if you have handy, or a blow dryer, either way. So the first thing that we're going to do, let's see, let me see which ones I want to do. I think we're going to do this bottom, we'll just do this little row here because I think it will be quicker and easier. They're smaller, and you can kind of see how to go about this. The other thing that you might see is like this one in particular, she just doesn't want to stay down there, which happens sometimes with this washi type of tape stickers. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to leave this on here because it's not going to hurt it, and we'll use this in just a minute. The first thing that we're going to do is just use our Mod Podge. Now, what we're aspiring to, if you will, is just to build up kind of a thickness and a shine, a sheen, if you will, to kind of make these images pop. And hold on, before we get at this, let me show you a couple of examples. That would be helpful. And I'll show you the comparisons when we get to those as well. So this one, or this set, is done with using embossing. Now, you might see a little bit of texture in that. That is because I believe I did this on watercolor paper. So it'll be interesting to see if it turns out a little bit different. You can also tell it's not very thick. It's pretty... I am telling you the wrong thing. These were with embossing powder. Goodness gracious, Angela. I was like, no, that's not right. And here's one I put together, just, you know, the two little things. But you can see it's much, much thinner, and it does have a sheen to it. So that is one technique we'll use. We'll do that one next because it's a little more messy, if you will. The second way that I did these, let's see. That would be these. Okay. Hang tight. Hang on, Sloopy. Here's 3 of these that I did using, this is what we're going to do first. This is the Mod Podge. And this one is too. You can see, there, let me just hold these up a little closer. So see how it's a little bit thicker as opposed to this one? And the sheen's a little bit different. Okay. And then here's 2 more. And they're still pliable enough that you can punch a hole in them, do whatever you wish with them. This one, just a note of caution, when I did it, I wasn't paying attention quite enough. And you can see there's spots where I didn't get it filled. That could happen. So don't do what I did. All right, and then the last thing that I'm going to show you, and truthfully, I did these last night. They are still not entirely dry. Now, I did learn, and when we get to the epoxy, these are epoxy ones. They're thicker. It's heavier. It's kind of like self-leveling, kind of like self-leveling cement that you would use on a floor if you've ever remodeled. But it takes much, much longer for this to dry. And I popped out a couple of these and cut them out, and they're still just a smidgy tacky. So this technique takes much, much longer. So you can see here, here's the other sheet that I did. It was a full sheet, and I, obviously cut out some of those, but this was a full sheet, and then I did each one of those. So I did learn that was much easier. And here's the other 3 that go in this little set. But like I said, I didn't want to cut any more out because they were a little tacky. So I'll let those dry probably for another day. So now, with that being said, let's get down to it. This one, and I don't know which one for you, which one you'll feel is easiest. You can be the judge of that. But what I normally do, so when this comes out, a lot of times it will you'll get little bubbles in it. So simply what I do is just use the tip to kind of spread this out. And if there are bubbles like there are in that one we can just get right off of there. And you're just going to cover the entire thing. Now, the question you might have is, okay, well, if you cover it and it goes beyond your sticker, if you will, what happens? Nothing. You can cut. You're still able to cut around it. It doesn't hurt a thing. What I would say is try to, because some of these, like you saw in that little tag, sometimes they don't stick down as well. So if you can kind of seal them, if you will, by using a little bit around the edge, that is helpful as well. Just lightly use the tip. To a lot of whether it be jewelry or maybe have some cute stickers and it's Halloween and you need a quick little accessory for your outfit, you can do that. So that is done. Now I'm just going to set this aside and let it dry. So that was Mod Podge Dimensional Magic. Now we are going to do some embossing. And for this one, which one should we do? I think I'm going to do this row because just like when I cook, I can never make just like enough for Dave and I, or for Demi and I, or if it's just Landon and I at home or whatever. I never make enough for just 2 people. I always overmake. Does anybody else do that, or am I the only one? And I'm going to do this, I think, 3 and 3 because it will just be easier. All right. Hang with me. You'll understand. The first way, so what I'm saying is when we get to the epoxy, I'm sure I'll make too much. So the first thing we're going to use is this embossing scroll brush, and it's by Zig. And I'm just going to color, basically. And I want to do this 2 ways so you can see how you can do this, because not everybody has these. I just happen to have them. One thing I was asking myself in my head, and I don't know the answer to, maybe you all do, is can you take this and dip it in here to get a little more on there if it gets, I mean, is that kosher? Can you do that? It seems like you probably could, but so the technique for this one is just to make sure you're getting enough of your embossing fluid or marker onto your images. So I'm moving pretty fast because, I mean, you do have a little bit of time before it dries. Ooh, that noise. And the cool part is, oh, I should have done it on her little dress. You could add dimension by, like, I could have not done it here or on her skirt, and that would have been super cute. Maybe we have one we can do that with in the next row. Not really, but this would have been the perfect one. All right, I think that's plenty. All right, now all you're going to do, and now you need to get your, oh boy, you need to get your heat gun ready. And then you're just going to very liberally cover your images. Now, what I like to do, just because it makes me feel better, is kind of do this. And just keep kind of tapping it, making sure I'm covering everything. Whoa. And then just tap it off. Now I can kind of see if I missed a couple spots, which it looks like I did on her little dress, but that's okay. We're not going to worry about it. Okay. Set this aside for a second because you don't want to have this stuff blowing all over in your face. So take your vessel, and I do have a little thing that I use for this that's much more efficient, but did I get it out? No. Now I'm going to wipe that off because on our next round, I don't want to have that embossing fluid all over, which I've already got it all over. So, you know, there's that. All right, now this is going to get loud. So if you want to turn down your volume, go ahead and do that. I may talk a little bit, but I'm going to turn this on for a second to kind of get it warmed up. And I'm also going to get out, which you might want to have handy. Do I have it? Is some tweezers. All right, so I'm just going to let that warm up for a second. And I'm going to hold it just like this. Yeah, I see a couple little spots where I might not have got it on there, but that's okay. At least you can see it. So I'm just going to hold this. I know another question that you may have is, will that sticker come up? It hasn't so far. I'm not saying it won't. Hang on a second. Just grabbing this a little more sturdy. And then you just kind of watch until it starts to get shiny. There it goes. I don't know if you can see that. Can you tell how it... There you go. If it does actually pull up, once it's all done, you can glue things down. Now, I did have a couple of them where they weren't stuck down in the first place very well that I had to glue, but most of them were pretty good. Can you see that? It's magic. I'm trying to do it so you guys can see. And don't overdo it. Like once it gets glossy, move on. There she goes. Yeah, this would have been a cute one to do it a little more dimensionally, but oopsie daisy. I didn't think about it until afterwards. Oops, that's hot on my flange. All right. Now oh, see, this one wasn't down. So it's coming up a little bit. No worries. The cool part about these is as soon as they're done, they are pretty much dry. There you go. And then you can cut them off the page. So for the example of this, it was almost like I planned this. I didn't. Just gonna tap that down. Okay. Apparently they missed the memo that I was doing videos. All right, let's try this another way. Now this time, if you don't have the little embossing pen, we're just going to use this. And all I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to rub this on, kind of press this on to here. Does it matter if it goes over the sticker? No, because remember, it's not that thick. You can still cut it out. It's going to be fine. Everything's fine. All right. And we're just going to repeat. So we're going to start over here on the left. And we're going to very liberally cover the little lammy poo. Try to get it all on there. And then I'm just going to kind of tap. Now this is, it's going to be different because this is, it's going to stick in between where I, see, will I get it all? Ooh, I might. Now, the other thing that you can do as well is you can come back and do this a couple times. Okay, so set this aside. I'm just gonna bring this to the center. Like I said, I have something that works much better. It's like a little vessel specifically for that. Because see, some of this sticks on here and you lose some of the powder, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Okay. Now, remember I told you that you can use this pad to kind of be your barrier so you don't ruin your mat like I have done before. I'm holding this up, so it should be okay. I'm going to turn this on again for a second. And just remember that all I'm really worried about is getting the sticker, well, that's right in my face, getting the sticker portion to a shiny state. So I'm not going to get all that other part that from my, oh, and the other thing that I should tell you is that little, what was that? A little puppy dog, and then this lamb. These are not PET or washi. I wanted to do a couple that weren't, so you could see that you could do this with really any sticker that you wanted. And you're just looking again for it to turn glossy. So that might have been also one of the reasons that, there we go. I'm going to move this over. Come on. That it didn't stick down as well, because I see that one is kind of coming up a little bit too, but I mean, it still works. So maybe reinforce it with a little bit of glue before you do that. And there you have it. As easy as that. Done. And then you just cut around it. So if you don't have those pens, not to worry. It works this way. Just press it down on there. See how this is kind of coming up? It's only those stickers though. Weird. Okay. 2 ways already. Piece of cake. And then, you know, you can decorate them, right? All right. This little girl, she's giving me fits. She does not want to stay down. And these, a lot of these, well, let's see, are any of them not? This one kind of is not a washi sticker. This was from a Happy Planner thing, but it's sort of like that. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to put this up here, and we're probably going to do all of these because I'm sure I'll make too much of this. So what you're going to need is some type of vessel to mix this in, and I'm just using a, you know what, instead of yellow, because it might bleed. we're just going to use a regular popsicle stick. Now, a couple things I'll tell you as I'm mixing this together is, in my experience, okay, so first we're going to put the resin in. You're going to decide how much you want. Now, let's see if I can do a little bit less than I did last time. Well, that's probably about the same as I did last time, so I'm going to have way too much. What was I going to say? Oh, in my experience, you're probably saying, well, you know, how are you going to get that on? It's kind of like self-leveling. I don't know that it doesn't say that anywhere on here, I guess, but it is. And you could try to use a paintbrush. What I will tell you about using a paintbrush, now I'm just doing equal parts. So I'm just kind of looking here to make sure that that's about the same, and it is. And I just eyeball it. But you could use a paintbrush. First of all, if you have a good paintbrush, don't use that because it's going to be, it's gone. Once you use it, she gone. The other thing I would say is this, for some reason, it almost acts like a nice little, oh my gosh. What am I trying to say? Like a putty knife, you know, or there's a name for it that's not coming to my mind. I've used it a ton of time on some walls, but, all I can think is squeegee, and that's definitely not it. And you're just going to make sure you just mix this really well. All right. Now, this one, because like I said, it takes longer to dry because it is epoxy resin, and will take at least a day, depending on your climate. But there's something about it that's just fun. Now, I am turning this because I'm going to work from left to right. And so I need to be able to see this. And hopefully you guys can see this okay. You might want to wait until some of the bubbles come out of it. But last time I was kind of prepping. I made it and then I kind of prepped my page. But we're not wasting any time. We're just going for it. Now, look. This is all I'm putting on there for this one to start. Just kind of like you would do, like honey pot. And then I start in the middle, and then I just work my way out. And I just kind of get to now I might be too skimpy on it. But last time I got a little carried away with some of it. You know, I've worked with resin, but usually in some type of vessel, like a mold. So this one doesn't have any barriers, so you just kind of have to roll with it. But again, once it's done, you can cut it out with no problem. I mean, I guess if you do many layers, maybe not, but I'm only doing one layer. Okay, and I'm just kind of eyeballing that. It looks pretty good, and you're just going to keep doing that. So this is at the point where we're just going to visit while I'm putting this all on here. And if I think of any tips as we're doing it, I'll let you know. Let's see, what's been going on? I know, many of you know that just because of my schedule, I have to do a lot of my videos in advance. So sometimes you may be seeing this way after I've actually recorded it. But let's talk about 2025. And I've said this in a couple videos, but I'll continue to say it just in case you haven't watched them all. One thing I would highly recommend that you do, if you have not done it, is take some time, if you enjoy my videos, and you want some ideas that just to spark your creativity. And I'm telling you this because I've actually done the same thing. Yes, I go back because I forget too. I have over 1,000 videos. I haven't looked for a long time, but it's probably close to, I don't know, 11 or 1,200 videos that I have. And so I forget sometimes, what videos I've done and what things that I've just, ooh, that's going to be too much. Sorry, little guy. These are like Dolly Dingle-esque. But I think they'd be cute as little Dolly Dingle Dangles. Hop back and watch some of those videos. Like, for example, if you're looking for inspiration on pockets, there's a whole playlist just on pockets. And you can sit and you can watch that if you do like I do. You just turn it on to the playlist and you can just watch them all. They'll just continue to run. And while you're crafting and creating, and you can get some good ideas. And I would also tell you, like, go back into the vault. If you don't want to watch by playlist and you want variety, like you need a little this, that, and a few other things along the way, you can go to my channel and you can search by oldest, and it will be my oldest video, which will be very entertaining and hopefully will give you a giggle because, everybody had to start somewhere, right? That's what I tell everyone. Don't be afraid of starting a YouTube channel. If you want to do it, whatever it might be, you got to start somewhere, right? And so certainly my videos from way back when are not wonderful, but they're informative and they're, well, I get a little chuckle out of watching them because I've come a long way, baby. And haven't we all? If you have a channel, you can attest to this. I'd love to hear your stories. But, sometimes you have it. It's a good way to humble yourself is to go back and watch your own old videos. So I would encourage you, if you enjoy my videos, to do that. And I tell you that because over the last few, I don't know, maybe at least 2 years, I have done a video every single day. Well, you would think that once my kids had graduated, I would have more time, and it seems as though I have less. So Dave and I are traveling quite a bit more. I'm traveling with him quite a bit more. We have some projects that we are working on outside of YouTube for our other businesses. So that's consuming a lot of my time. And that meant that I needed to kind of revisit my schedule for doing live sales and for recording videos. And in essence, I have switched to a schedule in which I do videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. On Tuesday in 2025, Carol and Sandy and I will do our live sales at 6 p.m. to give those of you on the West Coast a little more time to get home from work. Get yourself a beverage and a little something to eat and kick back and join the live sales and start bidding away. And on Sundays, I am leaving those to either a pre-recorded haul. So my hauls will all come out on Sunday, or I will go live on the Makers Market for this, that, and the chat, and maybe an unboxing or something fun, or I'll go on Restoration Harmony Home, which is our second, which is our boutique, which is home decor, and do something fun there. But Sunday kind of gives me the opportunity to either pre-record it depending on where I'm at, if we're traveling, if we have things going on with family, or to do lives. And then I'll also have Thursday open, which if I wish to do a live sale in the Makers Market, I could do that then. I just have a little more wiggle room and bandwidth, but I know, and thank you. And Love and hugs to all of you who say, I like to watch you every single day. You don't know how much that means to me. Really, it makes my heart very, very happy. So if for some reason you need an Angela fix, which, thank you, go watch some of those older videos, and I think you will be inspired. There's some really fun ones. Two of my favorite playlists, one of them is the Sewing Notions. It used to be called Sewing Notions Sunday. And Mimi from Mimi's Keepsakes also participated in that, and a few others. But that playlist, wallpaper is one of my most fun things to work with. And so, hey, you guys, I'm going to be real close. I mean, I still have more than I need, but I'm not wasting that much of it. That's one of my favorites. And then, so anything that had to do with sewing patterns, sewing notions, I love that one. And I really enjoyed the series that I did, which is also, it was the Give a Scrap, where there's a lot of videos, not just mine, on that playlist that you can watch from everybody that participated. We'll do that again in April. And then I also, it was a big challenge for me. Oh my gosh. I did 100 days of videos, and I used the hashtag 100-day challenge ATH, which was around the house. So especially if you are a beginner junk journaler, that's a great series to watch. I used AI to create a list of 100 different things from around the house to use in junk journaling. So I wasn't doing it myself, so I couldn't cheat. I just let it randomly pick 100 different things, and each day I would create with that item. And let me tell you, there was some hard ones on there. I am not joking, but it was super, super fun. It was a great challenge, and I learned a lot in the process. I am going to do these other 3. I'm just going to stick them on this. Hang on, let me grab another piece of paper. Not that one. And it forced me to get really creative. So I came up with some things that, you know, I might not otherwise have thought of. Okay, now you're going to set this aside. Probably for 2 days. Because it takes time. Oh, I see. I missed a cup. One of them I missed a spot on. The little lady. But that's okay. I have these 3 little beauties over here that are just hanging out. And see, this one was one of those that I'm just going to leave it. But it didn't stick down very well either. But it's truthfully using things from around. See, this is a good example of why my suggestion to do it all on one page is much better than cutting them out first. It's harder to work with, and you might not get it as even. It's just a little more difficult. That's why I told you that. But that is a really fun series. I had a lot of fun with it, and I think you will too. And the cool part is, if you happen to have, if you are on the Maker's Market and you do something from one of those, or any of your videos, if you create something, there is a place for you to share your YouTube channel. There's also a show and tell. So if you create something, you know, maybe there's a maker that you wanted to try something that they did. Maybe you created something new that you want all of us to know about. There's a show and tell, whether you have a channel or not. But, and if you have a channel and you use that 100-day challenge ATH, that hashtag, then folks can search all of those, as well as me, because then I'll be able to see what you came up with, because we all have different ideas. And that was one of the best things. You know how I love comments from you. Okay, I'm just throwing this all away. There's only, I mean, I could do probably 6 more, but I mean, I've got so many right now, I think I'm going to pass on that. Maybe I'll just sit it over here. It's not going to dry anytime soon. So it's fun to see what other people come up with, because, I mean, for one item, there's a million different ideas. So that's just a little bit of what's going on my channel. I do have tons of vlog footage that I am working on, but it probably will not be on this channel. I will put it on, it'll be another channel that Dave and I will be doing, but for right now, that's not done yet. So look at all of the things that we were able to create, and these are just super fun. For example, let's just make something out of this. I'm going to move these aside for a minute and just show you. All right. Now, these are all mostly dry. They're just, except for the ones in the middle. Okay. So I did this one with this was with the embossed ones. So it's kind of light. This one and this one. So let's just put together, I don't know, I kind of like the look of these 3 together, just for the fun of it. So let's do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out my itty bitty baby hole punch. Itty bitty. And I'm going to get out a bulb pin. And we're just going to pop these together. And so now it's your junk journal jewelry. Let's see. So let's put this one. Yeah, these are still a little bit sticky. Guess we're going to see what happens. And you're just going to pop a hole in each one of them. Ooh, that one was close. Ooh, is it going to... I think it'd be okay. Yikes, that one was really close. And let's do this one. This one was in the middle. This one, okay, we'll do this one over here. There we go. Like I said, I'm taking a risk here a little bit because it's still not quite dry, but and depending, you could put these outside too, depending on your climate, right? And I think we need to use let's use a red. I have a red here. I can't, that looks pink. How about we just use black? Because there's a lot of red there. All right, so now to put these on here, I'm going to start with the one, in this case, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to start with the one I want in the back. And then I'm going to put this one on. Now I am going to, when I'm done, I'm going to spread these out so they're, oh, look how cute that is. So that they don't stick to each other, just in case. But then you can do all kinds of fun, fun things with these. Okay, isn't that cute? So like these, I could put this on a page. It still would be fine. This one I could make into a tag with a little ribbon in it if I wanted. Let's see. What else do I have that's kind of dryish? Well, I'm just afraid to... Let's do these skinny ones. I think they should be okay-ish. Yeah, they're all right. I mean, they too are kind of a little bit sticky. Let's see, maybe we'll use this one. No, we're not going to use that one. Still too sticky. Okay, let's just use a couple of these really fast. We'll do one more. And you could leave a little bit of an edge around it. You can... And this, the paper that I used to back this particular batch was vintage scrapbook from the 30s. So you know, what, depending on what you use behind your piece, will kind of dictate what it is going to look like on when it's complete, you know. So if you've got transparent things, it's not going to look pure, and you want it to look pure white, use white. Otherwise, you can use any color. You could use black. You could use, you just want to make sure that what you're using is something that pops. Because that's the whole problem. Okay, here's one that didn't stick down. Okay, so now we have the answer to that. Sometimes you need to reinforce them. And you can choose to do that before or after. That's personal preference. Doesn't really matter. All right, how long have we been going, by the way? Oh my gosh, only 25 minutes? I was super, oh no, longer than that because I got interrupted, so I have to edit this. I was like, wow, that was fast. I'm just going to cut all these out. And so the last thing I would tell you is be patient. I mean, I'm doing this a little soon in the process just because I'm doing this video, but let it just dry really well. That'll save you a whole lot of headache. But these are super fun to do. And it's a good way to use some of those stickers that you might not otherwise use. I mean, there's so many things you can do with these and not just use them for jewelry. So, you know, keep that in mind. But they're fast. They're cute. I think they would be cute to put on little clusters, like fabric clusters. And, you know, sew them up a little bit. I think that would be really cute. Okay, let's see. Let's use another black one. I'm going to put those two together because I like the neutral look of it. I'm just going to pop the holes in all these. Ooh, okay. Those little ones, they get tricky. So you could really make a lot of these in short order, right? And you could add some fabric in the dangle behind it. I don't have any handy at the moment. Just to add to it. Some lace would be cute. Hey, maybe I have a piece of lace right here. I'm sure I do. I got lots of lace. Let's just add a piece just to give it a little... Gosh, this chair. What do we have? What do we have? Oh, here's, well, that's too late. Here's a piece. I'll just use a tiny bit of this. There we go. Just so you can see. Which kind of goes cute with a little fashion-y. And then I just have a little, in my McCall's cabinet, I have a container, one of those snap containers, and they're full of dangles. And so then I just pop them in here when I'm ready for dangles. Then I get them all out. Voila, I've got them pre-made. There you go. See, they're kind of sticking to each other, so I need to... There's what it looks like. Cute. All right, let's do this last one, and then I think I'll just leave this one like it is, and that one right there. Let's do a piece of lace on this one. I have another piece that's just hanging out down here. Some of this lace is a little bit big. I'm looking, friends. I'm looking. Oh, here. This will be kind of cool. Oh, this was on a seam. There we go. You can all go back underneath there. And it's kind of cool. That's florals. And then, let's see. Let's do gold. And we will say goodbye. So let me know in the comments what you thought about this project. If you've tried something like this before. Any tips that you have. I love to hear your comments, or just say hi. Let me know what you guys are up to. I do read all of your comments. I thought about this year too. You'll have to let me know what you think about this, but I thought it would be kind of fun on each video to read some comments from previous videos and answer questions. So if you have questions or whatnot, or I think that'd be fun to do this year, just to spice it up a little bit. There you go. All right. Look at all the fun we just had. I hope you give this a try. Please, as I said, leave a comment. Don't forget, if you haven't already, and you want to support my channel, one of the best ways that makes my heart smile is if you subscribe. And I hope that you come back, and I would love to hear from you. So until next time, friends, remember to take time to just be, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.